Hey everybody. Today I want to talk about why I didn't stay sober the first time. Again, I am in AA and I'm not here to debate the program. Whatever works for you. If you're in recovery, I 1000% support. I'm just sharing my experience and what I did and what I've learned and the things that I've walked through. I talked about that when I went to an inpatient treatment facility to process the trauma that I had experienced, I left feeling amazing. I had done a lot of trauma work in the facility and I had what was called a pink cloud, and I felt amazing and I got back to life. I got a job, and I'll talk about how I got fired for a job, which was a catalyst of my finally agreeing to go to treatment at a later time. But for 2 years, I felt amazing. And though I did 90 and 90 meetings in 90 days, which was suggested by the treatment center, I didn't stick around. People were suggesting things of me in the program, and I wasn't willing to do the work at all. So I thought I had it. And there is a step 1 in the program that talks about we are powerless over alcohol, that our lives are unmanageable. And for the longest time, I thought those two statements were separated by a comma, and that my unmanageability of my life was directly tied to the drinking. Again, and it kind of messed up my thought pattern in that regard, coming out of treatment and feeling like $1,000. What I learned was those two statements are separated by a dash, and they're independent statements. And having that 2 years of a pink cloud, and then having 2 years of being stressed out and worried and anxious and being in what's called a dry drunk, I was just miserable and restless, irritable, and discontent. I finally understood what it meant when it talks about the unmanageability. I wasn't drinking, and I was so miserable with everything. And I have now learned, and I've had unmanageability in my life. Again, it's not sunshine and butterflies. It's been really, really hard, and I am powerless over so many things, people, places, and things. And I've had excruciating years when I've been sober, but I've been able to stay sober. I wasn't thinking about drinking or drugging to numb out, and that is an absolute miracle, because my go-to to numb out was previously drugs and alcohol. But again, if I can, you can too. And this time, getting sober again, and my sobriety date is January 14, 2013, I was so utterly desperate and hopeless, I was finally willing to do the work. And that is why I have stayed sober, and I'll talk more about that. Again, I need to tell you some things about my childhood, things that I've learned, other life experiences I've had, but that was the turning point of why my first sobriety didn't work. And again, I'm here to share my experience, strength, and hope. And if I can stay sober on life's terms, and we can do hard things. I've done a lot of hard things in sobriety. I promise you can too. Thanks.